Hello viewers and welcome back to Let's Play Ultima I, the First Age of Darkness. We are where we left off, which is in the lands of the Feudal Lords. We have travelled east from the lands of Lord British, across the ocean, and we are going to explore this new land. So first of all we can see we have an enemy approaching us here. We did pick up a bow and arrow when we were getting the weapons from the Pillar of the Argonauts. We do actually have a ranged weapon now. We are, however, starting to get a little bit short of HP again. So that's something we're going to want to remedy at some point here. Now, the first thing you'll see, I mean, basically the lands over here are very similar to the lands of Lord British. There's some forests, there's dungeons, caves, towns. Really, there's not really any real difference other than we're on a different island. This is a dragon turtle. I don't know if we can actually hit it over the mountains. I'm just going to leave it. Right, there's a knight. Kill him. Okay. We've got a reasonable amount of food just now. We've got some coin, and what do we have? We have a reflect suit, which is the best armor we can get. We're going to get some better weapons gradually. Now, here we have a castle. So, similarly to the lands of Lord British, there's two castles over here, each of which will give us a quest. This, first of all, we will speak to the king here. We will offer service. Go now and kill a carrion creeper. Do not return until thy quest is done. So it's another similar go kill a monster quest. And that is the Castle Rondorian. So we need to do that for the king of Castle Rondorian. We will do that shortly. Carrion creepers are found a little bit further down the dungeon, so we'd need to go down to level 5 or 6, I believe, to get one of those. There's another castle over here which we'll enter. This one looks a little bit like Lord British's castle, so let's see. I believe this is Castle Barataria. We'll talk to the king here. Go forth and find the southern signpost. Do not return until thy quest is done. Okay, so this guy wants us to go to a signpost. That jester just stole something from us. I hope it wasn't anything super important. Okay, the southern signpost. Where on earth is the southern signpost? I actually don't know. Let's go wandering and we'll see if we can find it. So are we still in the lands of the Feudal Lords? We are. Let's go down here. I don't know where this particular signpost is, but I'm going to try and find it. Usually they're kind of towards the edges of lands. Generally they won't send you to a sign that's going to be in the same land that you're on. So we'll head down here. This is a different island with another castle. We're not going to go to this castle yet, but here is a signpost. That is the eastern signpost. The sign reads, go east to go east. That is not particularly descriptive. We were looking for the southern signpost, I believe. And we'll continue wandering around here. So, just while we're doing this, just to give a little bit more of a background on the game, and I touched a little bit on this in the first video. This is the first game in the Ultima series, which is a rather long lasting series of RPG games created by Richard Garriott, aka Lord British. And the games all feature Lord British in some form, usually as the king who will send you on quests. They basically, this game's from around about 1980, and this is the first and earliest game in the series. There is a slightly earlier game that was also made by Richard Garriott, which is called A Calibeth World of Doom, which is seen by a lot of people as being almost a sort of earlier implementation in the Ultima series. A lot of people consider it to be like Ultima Zero. Akalabeth's an intriguing game. It's not a great game, which is why I'm starting with Ultima 1 rather than Akalabeth. It is certainly noteworthy in the sense that it was a kind of very, very early computer RPG. I think it was 1979 it was originally released for the I think it was the Apple II computer system, and it had an overworld similar to this, and dungeons which had the kind of first-person wireframe perspective as well. The part of the reason I'm not playing it, I do have it from GOG.com, and you can get it free of charge, I think, from GOG.com. If you're interested in looking it out. It's a very, very random game, and it's very, very difficult to make any progress in it, partly due to the strange food mechanics, which are even more brutal than they are in this one. If you thought the amount of food we were using just walking around the map, and this was bad, Akalabeth is very, very, very harsh in terms of how much food you use as you're going around. We have actually found the southern signpost here, and we've gained 1 charisma for doing so. So with that we can go back, and we should be given some strength by the king there for completing his quest. Here's another signpost. Is this anything worthwhile? No, this is the Ultima Thule signpost, and it doesn't do anything. So what was I saying? Yeah, Akalabeth, you can get it free of charge from GOG.com. It's an interesting game to check out, but don't expect to make any great amount of progress in it, as it's very, very difficult. Generally, you'll find yourself running out of food rapidly as you use up food during the dungeons as well as walking around in the overworld. And it is extremely possible to, because the map is generated randomly each time you play, it's very possible to find yourself running out of food before you actually reach Lord British and get your quest. So it's a very, very difficult game to even just get started in. I'm not sure if I am in the right land here. We are in the lands of Lord British. Okay. Here's another signpost. That's the Pillars of Protection, which give us some agility. Over here then there should be another signpost, which we'll go to. So just before we head back to the lands of the Feudal Lords, I'm going to pop between these two a couple of times. So that gives us intelligence there as well. That gave us 2 intelligence. What you'll find is it should increase the amount it gives us as we go along. So it will start, I think it's every time you go into a new 10. So we've got 22 intelligence just now. So the next time we might get either 2 or 3, and then once we go into the 30s, we'll get 3 or 4, and so on until you get to the higher numbers, and you start getting given 6, 7, and 8 at a time. So it does pick up faster. We get 4 agility there as well, and we're in the 30s for that. So I'd imagine we're in the 20s for intelligence here, and this will probably give us 3. Yes, it does. So we can continue doing this for a while and just boost these stats. And boosting our intelligence should decrease the amount that things cost as well. So just, what else was it I was talking about there? Yeah, I was talking about Akalabeth. So, it's very possible to die in Akalabeth before you even get to Lord British's castle to get your quest. And essentially, Akalabeth is a very, very simplistic game compared even to this. And this is probably the most simple of the Ultima games. Akalabeth, basically it consists of, you leave the town, go to a dungeon, kill some monsters, go back to the town, rinse and repeat. And you'll find eventually Lord British's castle. He'll give you some quests, and you think you do a few of his quests, and eventually you win the game or something like that. I've never actually managed to complete one of his quests, so as you can imagine, Akalabeth is quite a tricky game. I've only played the DOS port of it, so I've heard the original Apple version might actually be a little bit easier, as it's more predictable. at the start of the game in Akalabeth, it asks you to put in a lucky number, which is supposed to act as a seed for the kind of procedural generation of the game. So with certain numbers you should be able to get predictable results. However, in the DOS port it doesn't seem to work like that. It seems to be completely randomly generated regardless of what you put in. So that is something that does make it a little bit trickier. We're running out of food a little bit here, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly go back to this one more time, and it's right, what have we got here? We now have 42 intelligence, we have 61 agility as well. We are going to head back to the lands of the Feudal Lords, and I'm going to go to the first town that we see and buy some food. Now, that's a castle, that's not useful to us. Here's a town. We'll enter the town. This is the city of Owen. So, we can enter here. Iolo, what did you steal? I don't know what he stole. Probably some of our weapons, yeah, by the looks of it. We have to re-get some of the weapons. Never mind, we'll get to that shortly. We are here to get some food. So it now costs 3 pence, so increasing our intelligence there has decreased the amount it does cost for some food. That means we can, for 30, we would get 100 food. That would be 10... So we can probably get, I'm going to say, if we get 60, that will get us quite a bit of food, and it won't cost us a huge amount now. Right, what have we got here? We have, ideally I want to get to a magic shop at this point. If we're going to be going down to level 5 or 6 of the dungeon to get a carrion creeper, we're going to want a spell to do that and make this a little bit less stressful for us. So can we buy it here? We can buy the ladder up spell here for 18. We're going to want a bunch of these. We're also going to want the ladder down spell, which we can't buy here. These are the only 2 spells that I find useful in this entire game. We're going to buy a whole bunch of these. So we're going to buy G, and I'm just going to do this repeatedly. G, TBG, TBG. So I'm just going to buy a whole bunch of these. I'm trying to do it too quick and getting the commands mixed up. What these basically do is when you're in a dungeon, it will basically conjure a ladder out of thin air to the next level up, so it can make climbing back up out of the dungeon much easier. So you don't have to go cavorting around an entire dungeon level to find the ladders. Right, that has given us 36 ladder ups. That should probably be enough for just now anyway. If we need more, we can get more later. YOLO, get out of my way. Okay, we have food. We are a little short on coins, but we are going to need to go to another town to find some ladder down spells as well. I wonder, there's a town next to the this castle, which is Castle Barataria. We'll go back in here first of all and complete our quest for the King of Castle Barataria. Hopefully this jester won't steal anything from us. And we get 3 points of strength for doing so. So these king quests generally just send you out to find a monument, and they'll reward you with some strength. Now, is there a magic shop here? There is a magic shop here. Mad Chad's Magic Shop. Shopper with an E. We do have the ladder down spell here, so we're going to buy that times a whole bunch. So that would be transact by F. I'm just going to basically buy a whole bunch of these. In fact, we can pretty much spend the rest of our money on these at the moment. This is a very, very useful spell. Okay, and get commands all wrong here. Right, how many do we have there? We have 26 ladder downs, so that'll be enough for the next couple of dungeons anyway. And yes, with that we could probably head to the pub, see if they actually can give us any information this time. So if we buy, here, have a cold one. Pub de Varg, it's Pub de Varg again. Now had best know thou should destroy the evil gem. Okay, so we do have to destroy an evil gem. We can have another cold one, which gets us nothing. As does that. As does that. So you don't want to buy too many drinks at a time. Otherwise, I think the tavern wench will attempt to seduce you and steal your money. We don't want that to happen. Okay. For now, however, we can go perhaps to the dungeon here. This is Advari's Hole. I don't know who Advari is, but apparently we are in their hole. Okay. And with that, what we can basically do, we can already go to the next level here anyway, but we do now have a ranged weapon, which is handy, and I should have a reasonable amount of stamina. What I'm going to do, I'm just very quickly going to climb out of this dungeon. So we can shoot these from slightly further away now. I'm going to climb out of here just so our HP does go up a little bit. I'm going to save the game here. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to attack these guys. I'm going to ready a spell. And the spell we're going to get ready is F, ladder down. And we can simply cast that and climb down. Cast that. Climb down, cast that, climb down, cast that, and climb down. Now, I hope... Yeah, we still have a reflect suit, that's fine. I should have taken that off really before going through levels 3 and 4. Never mind. Right, we are down here looking for a carrion creeper. Now, the monsters down here will be a bit tougher once again. There is a carrion creeper, we have defeated it. And there is another one, as well as an Etin and some sort of werewolf thing. We now really want to get out of here. As you can see, we've lost quite a few hit points. So I'm going to ready another spell, and this one's going to be F, ladder up. And we are going to cast that... oops, that was ladder down. Nope, hold on. Spell G, ladder up. Okay, Ascendo. Now we should theoretically just be able to do this and get ourselves out of the dungeon. I didn't gain as many hit points as I would have liked there, but we did kill a carrion creeper, which will allow us... Ah, Svengard, thou hast completed my quest. For this I shall tell thee that the time machine must be used in order to win. The king gives thee a green gem. Okay, so we know that we must use the time machine in order to win, and we need 4 gems in order to use the time machine. So, with that, it looks like we will be heading for another land in order to find more of these gems. Hopefully there will be more kings that will have some more gems for us, and also some more information on what we are to do as our quest continues. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to once again, just trying to increase our stats a little bit. Going to go to the Pillar of the Argonaut to get the Great Sword here. This will give us better weapons each time. I'm going to go between there and the signposts up here so we can increase our agility and our intelligence as well, and then we will head to the next land. So I'll do this off camera, and we'll pick up from here once we have some better weapons, and we'll continue in the next part. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching once again. I hope you have enjoyed this. If you have, give us a like, leave us some feedback in the comments, and subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. Thank you once again, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.